And welcome to our fifth session of our summer Tai Chi 8 and 8 brocades. And welcome. And yeah, so let's ground ourselves first. I think I'll ring the gong, and we can kind of sink into the present moment. Take a deep breath. And let's align ourselves between earth and heaven, sensing the yin beneath us and the yang above us. And let's bring our awareness to our breath, and let's inhale with a breath of gratitude. And I like to, in my mind, think of all the things I'm grateful for, just like a flow, let them flow through. Let's have the inner smile. We can still think of our blessings, this third gong. And the idea of being grateful can change your mood really quickly. It's a great tool if ever I'm frustrated or upset or scared. I just go right to gratitude and think of all the things that I do have that I'm so grateful for. I'm going to start us off with a little reading. I read this the other day and it really resonated with me. It's from 365 Tao by Deng Ming Dao. Interestingly, the very first Taoist text I ever read was by Deng Ming Dao. It was suggested to me in 1998 by my very first Qigong teacher because I was like, I love this stuff. I want to learn more. And of all the books about Qigong, he suggested The Wandering Taoist, which is a fictionalized account of maybe his life. You know, he came from China and worked in Chinatown in San Francisco in the kitchen washing dishwashers and had to fight because they found out he knew kung fu. And but it was just a story, and there's three books in this series. It didn't really talk about qigong, but it brought me into this world of Taoism and Tai Chi and Qigong and the martial arts and Chinese philosophy. So anyhow, I'm so grateful for that. I don't know if I would suggest that as someone's very first book of Qigong, but my teacher did, and I loved it. So this one is called 365 Tao, and there's 365 pages, so one for each day. And this one is called Learning. Learning is the fountain of youth. No matter how old you are, you mustn't stop growing. Don't think that creativity is only for artists, writers, and musicians. Creativity is an essential element for everyone. Unlike the outer directed creativity of making art, solving problems, or writing, the creativity that everyone can engage in is learning. As long as we continue to learn, welcome new ideas and ways of doing things, and continually expand our understanding of ourselves and the world around us, then we are engaging in the ultimate creativity of the self. If one looks carefully at those seniors who are ongoing vital participants in life, one will see that a common habit is continuous learning and interest. These seniors are not the same as they were in their youth, but they have found new ways of learning and acting. As we enter each new phase of our lives, the parameters change. If we are 60, we cannot do the same activities we did as teenagers. Therefore, we need to revamp ourselves according to the situation. That continuing act of creativity keeps us young. And aren't we constantly creating our lives and our futures and our own personal evolution? It seems like it to me. So, yeah, creativity is related to our hearts. And so when we create, it makes our hearts happy. I'm one of those people. I like to watercolor. I don't have enough time to watercolor nearly as much as I like to, but I like everything I do, and I cannot give it away. I like it too much. It makes me happy. So anyhow, just an aside. I'm going to back up because we're going to start off with Tai Chi. We're doing 8 brocades seated. So I'm going to get back far enough so you can see me. There we go. What I love about these practices is that they can be all done seated. This is, as we age or if we're infirm or we can't stand up, we can still get the same benefits. So let's bring our feet together and let's align between earth and heaven, sensing the earth beneath you, the sky above you. And let's start with our 3 points of focus. So we bring our awareness to our spine and create more space with the first breath. The second breath is an awareness, conscious breathing, inflating, deflating. And the third breath is for the mind. I like to soften and smile. And I imagine my mind is a lake, peaceful, reflective. And then let's open. Begins by grasping the left thumb, closing fists. And if you like a little bow, when I bow, I honor my teachers. And then I bring my fists to the lower Dan Tiens. Typically, we step out to the left. So I'm going to roll my shoulders, step out, and then hands fly down my legs, nice and slowly, composting everything that happened before right now. And then we float the hands up, drawing the earth medicine up. Bring it into the lower dantian. Let's inhale to the heart. Exhale, reach out in front and then spiral your wrists, fingers in towards the neck. And here we get our beautiful stretch, push, holding up heaven. Let's climb the ladder to heaven. Do that 6 times. Stretching ribs, stretching organs. Let's gather the yang energy and guide it down. Do that again with the breath, but this time we're going to reach down, harnessing the yin. With the exhale, we release, open. There's a little bit of a sink here, so you can collapse. And then we rise, we stretch. Inhale up, and then exhale as you climb the ladder. Inhale, gathering yang, and exhale. One more. Inhale it, and then go with your breath. Inhale, we gather the heavens, and we bathe ourselves. And this time, it's the final time. Feel your face relax, your neck and shoulders. Feel your core relax. Feel yourself seated heavily into the chair. Fingers drip down to the earth. And there's the transition, resting, bathing, making a nest with the fingers, or the palms are up and the thumbs touch in the navel. And soften as you take a very slow, long, deep breath. Punching with an angry glare. We draw the fists towards the waist. And we opened up to this side, your left side. That tells me that's going to be the first one. And here, remember, we're going to punch and release. I like to make a little C curve, stretch it out. And then it floats up, no tension. Roll the wrist, finger by finger, closing into a fist. Punching with an angry glare. I inhale as I gather and close my fist. Exhale. Let go of frustration or fear or chaos. And bring in peace of mind. Exhaling out. Find the back stretching, arms stretching, and then floating. Capturing something very precious. And last one each side. Releasing intentionally. What are you letting go of? What are you bringing in to take its place? Inhaling as we bring the fist back to the waist. Exhale, release the fists. Gather, transition. Finding the nest with the hands. Slow, deep breath. Moving on to balancing yin and yang. We slide the hands from the lower dantian to the kidneys. And then we slide down our back, down the buttocks, down the back of your legs. And then pulling silk out of the cocoon is really drawing the yin out of the earth. And we find our Tai Chi ball. Let's play the accordion one time. One hand on top. And then rolling the ball, other hand on top. The top hand pushes down to the earth. We connect to the yin, and the other hand comes up to the sky. The wrists are flexed. Now let's do that little adjustment. We take the bottom hand, we twist the thumb out to the side, fingers pointing to the back of us, You can look at the top hand, notice where the thumb is, and twist it to your head, and then keep twisting till it faces the screen. Let's take an inhale here. And with the exhale, we twist towards the bottom hand. And we take a full breath here in this big twist. Connected to earth and sky, we guide the yin up, the yang down. We imagine them meeting at the heart when our hands pass by the heart. And you do the other side. So think about twisting that thumb towards the outside and the back, and then over the head and towards the screen. Take a deep breath in and out with the twist. The inhale brings us back to neutral, center. Now, if you have too much of something right now, imagine you're clearing it out of your body, out of the head, down out of the feet. See if you can find the twists. Inhale, look back. And then exhale. Let's do a full breath. And continuing with the breath, inhale. Exhale. Make the adjustments and twist. Full deep breath in and out. Inhale back to center. Exhale. Begin to twist. Find the spirals in the arms. Full in and out. Last one. Exhale. Begin to twist, finding the spirals in the arms. It really feels like a ringing out to me. Feels really good, like everything's stretching, my tendons and ligaments. The inhale brings us back to center. Let's bring it into the third eye and then into the middle dantian. Relax down to the lower dantian. The transition breath. Integrating resting breath. And we allow our arms to go down to the side. I like to take a little bit of a wider stance here. We do when we're standing, so mimicking our standing form. We stepped out to the left. So this is wise owl looks around. So you can bend forward, look down at the earth, shift your weight to the right hip, gaze off to the right, look up, coming back to neutral or center, gazing off to the other side, and then down. And relax. And you find that nice C curve. Let's do it again. Inhale, keeping the eyes open, looking up. Can you find a little arch? Exhale. Focus on different things as you move around. This helps to improve our extrasensory perception. And then pause for a moment when you get back to center, relax. And then let's go the other way. Inhale, look sideways, look up. See if you can find a little bit of an arch. Other side. And then looking down. Notice new things every time. Slow, deep breathing. And exhaling back to looking down at the ground. As we roll up slowly, turn on your x-ray vision. Look, think about your spine. Imagine stacking the vertebra. Head comes up last. We transition. Exhale, receive, and a full resting breath. Then we move into picking up the heavy pail of water. So we're not really going to use our legs. I find that really a good strengthening and flexibility for legs. But we're going to feel it more in our chest and back this time. So we start off by squeezing the shoulder blades together, opening toral, opening heart and lungs, and then we're going to go forward and we're going to imagine we're picking up heavy pails of water. Maybe they're only 4 inches high, off the ground. So you get a little stretch and then engage your muscles. Let's tighten here. And then release and gaze over your shoulder. Take a breath in. And then we're going to place the buckets down. Now feel your shoulder blades widen. Imagine they're really heavy, so you have to be careful and diligent. You're tight. Release the buckets. Inhale, let's pull them up. Let them go. Look over your shoulder. Squeeze shoulder blades together. With the exhale, we place down. We want to sense our shoulder blades widening. Nice, strong backs. Again, the, the inhale, there's a lot going on. We inhale and we let go and reach behind. And with the exhale, we place the buckets back down. Imagine they're really heavy. What does that do to your core? What does that do to your arms, chest? Again. And open the back of the lungs, back of the heart. Let's do one more each side. So we're stacking our spine, squeezing the scapula, and then widening the scapula. Exhale down. Final one, really heavy. Muscles engaged, and then stretch. And then finally putting the buckets down for the last time. Heavy buckets. And then same thing, awareness of the spine. Notice as you start to come up, the tail floats down to the ground, sacrum, lumbar, thoracic. As you gaze upward, cervical. Slow, deep breath. Quieting the monkey mind. This is the one where we close our ears off and we listen. And we're not going to really be able to bounce onto our heels, but we're going to lift and lower. You can watch my legs. First, I'm listening. Close it off so you can't hear me. transition. Integrating, resting, softening. Now let's take a little wider stance. The arms drop down. We make a V with the hand, with the forefinger and thumb. Bring it into your heart, embrace tiger. And now we pull the bow. So, here we're not doing our squat, but where can we tighten? Can you tighten this arm? Can you flex the wrist? Can you straighten the arm that we're aiming for? Nice, strong, still and steady. And then soften as you embrace tiger. Inhale. And other side. Tighten, like doing isometrics. Think about that tautness of the bow. Inhale, soften. And my intention here is I aim for what I really want. And then I bring it in to my heart. It could be the same thing or other things, but it's the intention of focusing on your goals, on what you want in life. Tighten, feel strong, and then relax. Let it glide in, no effort. This is a focus. We tighten. We're not wishy-washy here. We're not limp. We want to focus. This is what we want. And then we allow it to come in. We have to soften. When we're tight, energy can't move. Last one. With the inhale, we embrace tiger. With the exhale, we return to the mountain. And let's bring the feet in a little bit. You can step with 1 foot or 2. Bathe yourself with compassion, optimal health, love. And we do our resting breath. And I have to make adjustments here. The last of the brocades is the Wudong tracing meridians. Hands are on the lower dantian. Let's slide them back to the kidneys again. Slide energy from the kidneys down and out, releasing doubt, lack of trust. And then we engage, pulling silk out of the cocoon, drawing the healing energy of the earth up. Might feel heavy. And then we guide it into our lower dantian. Hands on the body. As we inhale, we come up to the heart, the throat, the face, over the head, and exhale, back of the neck. And we find prayer hands right on the front of the body. Inhale, finding the ribs, going back to the kidneys. And then we take any old tired energy out of our organs and we compost. Let it go. Receive fresh energy from the earth. Draw it up with your fingers. Exhale. Imagine fluids flowing. Inhaling over the head. Exhaling back to the sternum. Thank you, lungs and heart. Thank you, liver and spleen and kidneys. And let's let go of any emotional distress. We're connecting to all of our big organs here. Cleaning it out and moving energy. Last one. Exhale, receive. Smile to your body. finding organs. And we compost the last time. And bringing the hands back to the lower dantian. Let the hands drop down to the side. We do our gather. Integrating resting breath. Relax and soften. Allow the hands to drop down to your side. We're going to close. So I stepped out with my left foot. I'm going to step it back in as I gather. This is very intimate and it's very powerful. I'm sending and moving energy into my being. And we begin as we started with the Taoist salute or the Taoist bow, reaching out, grasping your left thumb, and a little bow. Let's take 3 breaths, letting all of that integrate. And I'm going to come a little closer. I'm going to open it up to any observations that anybody had. We have not done that seated yet, and I'm interested in hearing. I know what it felt like for me. Oops, my phone talked to me. Oh, don't you hate that? Siri's like, what? Okay, sorry about that. So feel free to unmute yourself. We did that seated. Did you sense the same benefit or different benefits, or did you like it or not like it? Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I did like it. And I sensed both the same and different because my focus was not on my legs. So I focused more on the upper body, the movements. It was lovely. Thank you.
Nice.
That was helpful.
I had the same impression that I actually think I stretched more, maybe didn't twist more necessarily, but it was different and then the balance factor is not in play. And I, that's important, but this is just different. And I think it was good. I certainly felt worked out.
Great.
Energy flowing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Kind of the same for me. I've been focusing a lot on my lower body for exercise. So I felt a little out of shape on my upper body. But it just felt like it worked my core more because I had to rely on that rather than my legs. So I'm going to try to incorporate that seating at least one other time a week.
Nice observation. Always will work the core. Yeah. I went really deep. I really got into the Qigong state. And so you still get all the benefits for the nervous system as well, and that finding that calm and centering. Well, thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it. Because I know what my experience is, but I don't know other experiences. And yeah, what you said, Chloe, about the core, I did feel more core. And this one, I really felt in my shoulders and back.
Right.
A lot of back. I felt it was more concentrated and intense. So nice. Okay. Well, any other comments, or then we'll move on to our part 2.
I just had one
question.
Oh, sorry. You go.
Okay, thank you. In terms of the seated, we didn't do a lot with the breathing, but we kind of fun to really also add in the breath work with the seated because we're not worried about the balance. For example, punching with the angry fist, I don't know if you would have you asked us to exhale through the nose or the mouth when we're releasing?
I haven't.
Oh, okay.
Um, Typically, when we exhale through the mouth, we're dispelling old chi, releasing. Um, when we exhale through the nose, maybe we're letting the energy go where it needs to go. So we're keeping it inside. I I often don't cue exhaling through the mouth or the nose. However, I observe what I'm doing, and I'm like, okay, I guess I needed to release, flow it away. I didn't want that kind of energy in my body. So I think it's brilliant that you noticed, and I invite you all to notice what spontaneously happens. Great. And Kristen, one more question.
An observation, and it was with the buckets and your cueing, just to isolate and really think about the movement from the shoulder blades, which I used your cue last week about leading with the heart. So both times opening with the heart in the front and then with the heart in the back, and that was lovely. So.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Last week, we were talking a little bit about the nervous system and the vagus nerve. And in some of the trauma training we've had, they actually suggest isometric holding with your breath. So I felt like that was what we were doing. It was just perfect.
Thank you. I think isometrics are really great. I like them a lot. And, in Tai Chi, we don't get tight. Well, sometimes I shouldn't say that if we're doing sharp kicks or blocks, and some forms are more yang than yin, but typically it's more of a flow. Where qigong, we do tighten, and when we tighten, it's really good for our lymphatic system. So it kind of squeezes the lymph, and then when we loosen up, the lymph has all this space to flow. Okay, thank you, everybody. I'm going to mute everyone again, and we're going to go into a Tai Chi 8 flow. Next week, we're going to do Tai Chi 8 seated. I think it's important to know that these forms can be done seated, standing. And so I'm going to stand up, but you don't have to. You can sit if you're so inclined. Bring ourselves into alignment. Toes forward. Tail dropped. Knees bent. Belly soft. And we're going to think of, as we practice today, we're going to bring in the Tai Chi principles of rising and sinking. So we do that typically with our knees. And we rise up, we sink down. We're going to expand and contract. So these are the opposing forces in the universe, Tai Chi's. And there's also inhaling and exhaling. And there's typically when we inhale, there's a rising sensation. We rise up. Typically when we exhale, there's a sinking. And I also want us to all remember the Tai Chi pole. And the Tai Chi pole is this imaginary pole line of energy that comes from the outer edges of heaven beyond anything we can imagine. And then it comes right through us and down to the center of the earth. And this pole moves with us. So if I'm going to shift my weight, imagine I'm holding onto the pole moves. If I shift back, the pole moves. So if I step forward, the pole moves out a little bit. If I shift back, the pole moves. If I do a little pivot and twist. So the Tai Chi pole is always keeping us connected to the yin, the yang, heaven and earth, and helps us with balance. So I'll be mentioning these things as we practice. Let's do our 3 points of focus. Spine, breath, and mind. 3 breaths. I like to smile to myself with the 3rd breath. We're going to step out. So remember, wherever arm we step out with, that's going to be the first one into the heart. So we float the arms up, bring it into the heart, embrace tiger. We cut through to clarity. Weight is on the left leg. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink. Inhale, expand. Embrace tiger. Exhale, sink. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sink. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink. Long exhale. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink. Inhale, rise. And exhale, sink. Harmonizing yin and yang, palm up, palm down, connecting to the earth, blending it. Sink. Let's form our ball. So we're still going to continue with the Tai Chi walk. I'm just going to scooch back. Rolling the ball, we sink. Dropping the ball, inhale, rise. Fingers to the sky, exhale. Twist. Rock back to your back leg. Lift the front toe, little pivot out, twist. Inhale, and now you can post if you like, or you can keep the foot lifted. Brush knee senchi. Awareness of your weight, awareness of the Tai Chi pull. Inhale, we rise up. Exhale, sink. Last one. There's an embrace tiger, the transition. You can step back with the front foot. And we return to the mountain. I'm going to scooch back just a little. I'm a little limited here with the space. Moving into golden rooster, stands on one leg. Think of the Tai Chi pole from the center of the earth, traveling up your body, out of your head to heaven. This is more advanced. If you want to teach or do level 1, you keep your toe on the ground. But there's that rising strong and then sinking soft. So whatever level you want to do, exhale down, exhale sink, inhale rise, exhale sink. And then we show our talents. So let's do level 1 first. We lift the knee, we place the heel on the ground, and we press. So another isometric here. Let's inhale and exhale. So level 1, you keep the heel on the ground. If you want more, you flex your ankle, flex your wrist, and balance. Inhale back. Exhale, sink. Again, Tai Chi pull, keeping you stable. Inhale. Exhale. Again. The transition here is we rise and gather as we inhale. And we exhale. Embracing tiger, sinking. As we part the clouds, we rise up. We stepped out to your left. And we do moving cloud hands. So we're going to move off to the Guan Yin. I inhale as I transition. So inhale here and exhale, sink. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sink. And then let's move it back the other way. Inhale, rise. And we exhale here. Stay. Let's inhale. And exhale, sink. Can you sense the Tai Chi pull? Inhale. And let's do one more. Keeping the feet wide. Transitioning, if you want, you can step in to placing the sun and the moon in the sky. Holding that ball, sensing energy in your hands. And then we expand it. Sink. Let's inhale. You can do the Tai Chi walk here. Exhale. Inhale as you expand your mind and your heart. Exhale. Inhale. And then exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Expand your imagination. And then we reach down and the back foot steps up. We embrace tiger. Let's hold here. Return to the mountain. And we gather. So let's just do this 3 times. Time to fill yourself up with fresh energy. Reaching for insight, inspiration, and blessings. Reach for healing energy from Mother Earth. Big inhale up. And receive it. You know, imagine that beam of light flowing into your body. Feel it soften your tissues. Let's do one more. Loose body, so important when we're doing Qigong. When we're tight, the energy can't flow. It's constricted, so we want nice, loose. And we find ourselves in Tai Chi meditation, or known as tree pose. Soften, scan, relax. Let's do 2 more breaths here. And then let's shift the weight to the Guan Yin side. Lower, Tai Chi pole. And with this one, we end with the sun and the moon. Or maybe your right hand is the sun. And we make the crescent moon and we place it over the sun, the moon embracing the sun, the yin embracing the yang. And good, give it a little shake. And tap your back, kidneys, tap your hips. We're going to do one more time. And we're going to do, instead of 4 movements, we're going to do each one with 2 movements. And then open it up to discussion and questions and revelations. Let's do our 3 points of focus, 3 breaths. And let's go. Can you find the breath and coordinate with the movement? Oh, actually, that was supposed to be a return to the mountain. Oh, well. Oops, to this side, sorry. I think that's really a fun form. It's got so much in it, balance, sideways moving, backwards, forward moving. And so if you do 4 repetitions or 2 on each side, totaling 4, it takes about 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes. And so it's a nice, quick little form. Um, and you can do 3 times each one or 2 times. That's the beauty of repetitive forms. If you want to do 8 times each one and really sink into it, I think that's lovely. When I have a big room and there's enough space to move with new students, I'll do 8 of each one just so they get into that lovely rocking forwards and back. And anyhow, I'm really happy to share it with you. I learned it here in Carpinteria on the beach. I had a visiting teacher come through. He moved here for a little while, and he shared the form with us. And I thought, that's brilliant. I love this form. So I'm very grateful for him. I did look it up online. I did find Tai Chi 8. So if you are interested, you can see how other people do it. Before we open it up to discussion, let's realign ourselves. I like to always close thanking my body and seeing myself healthy, and then coming up to my middle Dan Tiens, acknowledging emotions and thoughts and thanking them for being quiet, caring and loving, and then smiling to my spiritual connection, to my spirit, my best friend. And I like to surround myself with the light of my spirit so I can shine, I can share, I can be me. So thank you for being you. And feel free to unmute if there's questions with the Tai Chi 8 or any other questions.
I just want to comment on the Tai Chi pole.
Yeah,
It's such a great visualization. I mean, it really helps in keeping straight and balance.
it does. And it's moving all directions. When we do that rock back, I like to lead with the back of my heart. It's a really interesting sensation instead of leading with the front of your body, like as if you're being drawn back and then pulled forward. So we'll talk about that more next week. But yeah, I wanted to bring the Tai Chi pole in today. I think it's important. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Okay, well, if any other comments about what we did, otherwise I will stop the recording and we can chat or talk about whatever we want. I'm going to take that as a let's stop the recording. Thanks for coming. See you next week.